$78 million. That's how much money the Indiana Fever is dropping on their new training facility. In case you did not see it, the Indiana Fever has gotten a new downtown training facility. And a lot of fans they're speaking up and saying this obviously is a direct result of the cash flow that one Caitlin Clark brought into here's what's got everyone talking. Their attendance jumped from 4,000 to a whopping 177,000 after signing one player. Now some angry voices are trying to deny the obvious impact of the Caitlin Clark effect. Let's break down this explosive situation. The Indiana Fever just announced something massive, a brand new $78 million downtown training facility. And while some people are trying to play it cool, saying it's not because of any single player, the numbers tell a different story. Before Caitlin Clark, the Fever was pulling in around 4,000 fans per game. Now, they're leading the league with 177,000 fans. You don't need to be a math genius to see what's happening here. But before we dive deeper into these mind-blowing numbers, let's talk about what made this possible. The moment Indiana secured that first draft pick, everything changed. The buzz wasn't just about getting a good player. It was about getting someone who had already transformed college basketball. Clark wasn't just breaking records. She was breaking the internet every time she stepped on the court. The rumors about this facility started floating around right after Clark signed with the Fever. Initially, people thought it was just wishful thinking. After all, $78 million is serious money, especially in the WNBA, where some teams still struggle with basic facilities. But the Fever ownership saw something others had missed. Let's break down what this facility actually includes, because it's not just your average training center. We're talking about a 3-story, 108,000 square foot building that's going to change the game. 2 full-size courts with state-of-the-art flooring systems. The kind of courts that protect players' joints and help prevent injuries. This isn't just about luxury, it's about protecting their investment in talent. The strength and conditioning area is something straight out of a sports science fiction movie. Custom-designed equipment, specialized training zones, and technology that can track every aspect of a player's movement and development. They're not just building a gym, they're building a performance laboratory. Then there's the recovery section. Infrared light therapy rooms that help with muscle recovery and injury prevention, hydrotherapy pools with different temperature zones for various types of recovery, cryotherapy chambers, massage rooms, and specialized rehabilitation areas. This is the kind of facility that usually only NBA teams have access to. So the Indiana Fever announced that they're going to open a new practice facility coming up before the 2027 season. On the surface, this is not really surprising news given the state of the organization and where the arrow has been pointed. And it's been a trend across the WNBA for teams to upgrade the facilities because some of them have been lacking. And not to say that that was the case with the Fever. They were practicing within Gainbridge Fieldhouse where the Pacers play. Here's what really catches my eye. They're including a podcast and content production studio. This shows they understand modern sports isn't just about what happens on the court. It's about content, storytelling, and connecting with fans in new ways. And who better to lead that charge than Clark, who's already proven she can capture the nation's attention. The really interesting part? Pacers Sports and Entertainment is funding this whole thing privately. No taxpayer money, no league support, no public fundraising. They're betting their own cash on the future of women's basketball in Indianapolis. When a business puts up that kind of money, they're not doing it for charity. They're doing it because they see a return on investment. Speaking of investment, let's talk about those attendance numbers again. Going from 4,000 to 177,000 fans per game isn't just an increase, it's a revolution. That's the kind of jump that changes everything from merchandise sales to sponsorship deals. Suddenly, companies that wouldn't give the time of day to WNBA teams are lining up to get involved. And it's not just about the number of fans, it's about the energy they bring. The atmosphere at Fever games has completely transformed. What used to be a quiet arena with plenty of empty seats is now a sold-out event with people fighting for tickets. The secondary market for Fever tickets is something no one could have imagined just a year ago. National television networks have taken notice too. Almost every Fever game is now nationally televised. That's not just good for the team, it's good for the entire league. More exposure means more fans, more sponsors, and more opportunities for growth. The Caitlin Clark effect isn't just local, it's national. The facility is set to open before the 2027 WNBA season, which shows incredible foresight. They're not just building for today, they're building for the future. The location itself is symbolic. It's going to be built on the site of the former Marion County Jail. They're literally transforming a place of confinement into a space for dreams and achievements. Thing about the Fever opening up a new practice facility that stands out to me is it's yet again another message about how serious the organization is taking itself after the boom they got from drafting Caitlin Clark and her rookie debut. Currently, the Fever practices in Gainbridge Fieldhouse, sharing space with the NBA's Pacers. While that's not uncommon in the WNBA, it's not ideal. Scheduling conflicts, limited access to facilities, and the constant feeling of being the secondary tenant. These are challenges many WNBA teams face. This new facility changes all that. The fan response on social media has been overwhelming. Suggestions for naming the facility have been flooding in, and most of them center around one person. The house that CC built, the Caitlin Clark Center, Triple C. The fans know exactly why this is happening. Some even suggested making the logo incorporate Clark's signature step-back three-point shot. What's really telling is how other teams are watching this development. The Las Vegas Aces, owned by NFL powerhouses Mark Davis and Tom Brady, already have their own training complex. The Phoenix Mercury, Seattle Storm, and Chicago Sky are all investing in similar facilities. Each of these facilities cost at least $35 million, with Las Vegas setting the bar at 3 times that amount. This isn't just about building nice training facilities, it's about legitimizing women's professional basketball. When teams invest this kind of money in infrastructure, they're saying they believe in the future of the sport. They're saying they believe in the players, the fans, and the potential for growth. But let's address the elephant in the room, the backlash. Some voices in the basketball world can't seem to accept that one player could have this much impact. They are the same people who tried to downplay Clark's college achievements, who said her style wouldn't work in the pros, who claimed her success was just media hype. Well, the numbers don't lie, and 177,000 fans per game is anything but hype. These critics are now trying to argue that the facility was already in planning before Clark was drafted. Sure, maybe the Fever had some long-term plans for improvement, but in $78 million privately funded facility, that kind of investment doesn't happen without a catalyst. And the timing tells us everything we need to know. Let's talk about the financial impact here. When you jump from 4,000 to 177,000 fans per game, you're not just selling more tickets, you're selling more merchandise, more concessions, more parking. Corporate sponsors who wouldn't return phone calls are now calling you. Local businesses want partnerships. Hotels near the arena are booking up on game nights. This is what economists call the multiplier effect. The renderings of this facility are absolutely stunning. Floor-to-ceiling windows that flood the courts with natural light. Multiple courts with perfect lighting and camera angles for broadcasting and social media content. Recovery areas that look like something out of a high-end spa. Meeting rooms with state-of-the-art technology. This isn't just a practice facility, it's a statement about the future of women's basketball. Think about what this means for player recruitment too. When free agents are considering their options, facilities matter. Having a dedicated space like this, with all the latest technology and recovery tools, that's a major selling point. The Fever aren't just building this for Clark, they're building it to attract and retain more top talent. The podcast and content studio is particularly interesting. The Fever clearly understand that modern sports is as much about content creation as it is about playing the game. Players are their own brands now. They need space to create content, connect with fans, and build their personal platforms. This facility isn't just about physical training, it's about building the complete, modern athlete. Other teams are watching closely. The Chicago Sky's facility is under construction. The New York Liberty are pursuing their own complex. Every team sees what's happening in Indiana and knows they need to step up their game. This is how you start a facilities arms race, and it's exactly what the WNBA needs to keep growing. The location in downtown Indianapolis is strategic too. It's not just about convenience, it's about being part of the city's fabric. When you put a $78 million facility in downtown, you're saying women's basketball belongs in the heart of the city. You're making it a landmark, a destination, a point of pride for the community. Look at what's happening with sponsorships since Clark signed. Companies that never showed interest in the WNBA before are suddenly calling. They see the TV ratings, the social media numbers, the packed arenas. They want to be part of this movement. And now, with this new facility, they have another reason to get involved. The timing of the 2027 opening is interesting too. That gives them plenty of time to build it right, but it also shows long-term commitment. They're saying Clark isn't just a flash in the pan, she's the beginning of a new era. They're building for her prime years and beyond. Some critics try to compare this to other sports facilities, saying it's too much money for a WNBA team. But that's missing the point. This isn't just about today's revenue. It's about investing in the future of the sport. It's about creating an environment where female athletes can develop and excel at the highest level. The technology planned for this facility is next level. They're talking about installing movement tracking systems that can analyze every aspect of a player's game, recovery tools that can help prevent injuries before they happen, training equipment that can be customized for each player's specific needs. This is the kind of technology that can extend careers and improve performance. The community impact shouldn't be overlooked either. This facility will create jobs, drive tourism, and boost local businesses. But, more importantly, it sends a message to young female athletes in Indiana and beyond. There's a future in women's basketball. There's a path to success. There's a place where you can develop your talents at the highest level. Looking at the broader picture, this facility represents a turning point for the WNBA. It's a sign that the league is moving beyond just survival and into real growth. When teams start making $78 million investments in infrastructure, it means they see a future worth investing in. And yes, while some try to downplay Clark's role in all this, the reality is undeniable. The Fever went from struggling to fill seats to leading the league in attendance. They went from being an afterthought to being must-see TV. They went from sharing practice space to building a state-of-the-art facility. That's not coincidence. That's the Caitlin Clark effect. This facility isn't just about basketball. It's about legacy. Years from now, people will look back at this moment as a turning point. When a rookie's impact was so profound that it changed not just a team, but the entire landscape of women's professional basketball. When one player's arrival sparked an investment that will benefit generations of athletes to come. This facility isn't just about basketball. It's about legacy. Years from now, people will look back at this moment as a turning point, when a rookie's impact was so profound that it changed not just a team, but the entire landscape of women's professional basketball, when one player's arrival sparked an investment that will benefit generations of athletes to come. The decision to include a hydrotherapy pool is particularly significant. In professional sports, recovery is just as important as training. These pools will have different temperature zones, cold plunges for reducing inflammation, warm sections for muscle relaxation, and therapeutic jets for targeted treatment. It's the kind of facility that can help extend players' careers by years. The strength and conditioning area isn't just going to have standard gym equipment. They're planning to install force plates in the floor that can measure how players jump, land, and move. This data can help prevent injuries by identifying potential problems before they become serious. They're also including specialized equipment for basketball-specific movements. The 2 full-size courts will have cameras installed at multiple angles, connected to a computer system that can track player movements and provide instant feedback. Coaches will be able to analyze shooting form, defensive positioning, and team formations in real time. This kind of technology used to be exclusive to NBA teams. Now the Fever will have it too. Even the locker rooms are being designed with the future in mind. Each player will have a personalized recovery station built into their locker, with charging ports for devices, climate control features, and built-in screens for reviewing game footage. The locker room isn't just a place to change anymore. It's becoming a high-tech preparation and recovery space. Let's talk about the podcast studio for a moment. It's not just going to be a room with microphones. They're building a full multimedia production facility with video capabilities, sound mixing equipment, and editing stations. Players will be able to create content for social media, record interviews, and even produce their own shows. In today's digital age, this kind of facility is essential. The building's design includes plenty of natural light, which studies have shown improves athletic performance and mental well-being. The windows aren't just for show. They're specially designed to reduce glare while maintaining optimal lighting conditions for basketball. Even the paint colors in different areas are being chosen based on sports psychology research. One of the most innovative features is the planned smart court technology. Sensors embedded in the floor and walls will track everything from ball movement to player positioning. This data can be used to analyze plays, improve strategy, and even create personalized training programs for each player. It's the kind of technology that can help turn good players into great ones. The facility will also include a nutrition center with a full kitchen and dining area. They're bringing in sports nutritionists to design meal plans specifically for basketball players. The kitchen will be equipped to prepare both pre-game meals and post-game recovery nutrition. This attention to detail shows they understand that elite performance requires comprehensive support. The numbers don't lie. We're watching women's basketball change right before our eyes. If you want to stay updated on more game-changing stories like this,